Let's try to fix the classic Dragster while we're on this, because the midweight is going to be a little bit complicated. Alright, let me see. The classic Dragster. Let's see what the heck I did to this poor fella. Oh, that's already a problem I can see right there. I tried to make this thing as fast as possible. What was I thinking? What was I sniffing? Speed and tone. Yeah, that's probably why it tones like trash. 4.1, that's respectable. I think that's stock. 4.1 is stock. Speed, 99, 0.5, that should be... I'm gonna change that. I don't know what the heck I want to do with this thing, but that needs to be fixed. I'm gonna actually pick the... Yeah. That's why when you touch it, it comes to a screeching halt. I don't know how to do the speed. I also broke the acceleration. What was I trying? I think I was trying to create like that vehicle from Kirby's Air Ride, where you have to stop and then go, stop and then go. Because its handling is dead. You can't tone this thing. You can only drift it, which frankly is not a good idea. It's an archetype I messed around with, but you end up with a cheap treasure, which is not very good. Let's just fix it down to like as if it was to be normally buffed. I'm adding a 1 to give a little bit of character. Let's retune these acceleration points, because these are like off the charts. So I'm just gonna make this a little bit better than it was stock. I think that should be the objective for this guy here. Its acceleration was already really good. The stock was 1.5. I'm confused. I'll leave that as stock as well. Its acceleration is actually really good, just off the bat. Like anything above the necessary point that you need to SSMT, acceleration does not really matter that much. After that, it's a preference. It's like a character thing. Handling range, and I need to retune these back down. I honestly think that the drift feels fine. It actually slides a bit too much, so I'm gonna change the drift angle because I want it to just skid. I don't want it to full on drift. Odd question, but how did you get the Toyota 86 model from Mario Kart Wii? My brother modeled it. My brother modeled it from scratch. My brother is very talented when it comes to models. Yeah, okay, so this one has the default stock. I'm gonna assume they're copied, they're probably the same. Also, this says it changed down to 28. It did not, so I'm gonna change that. Drift range was changed from that to 30. That was not changed. Weak off-road, 0.43. Also, slippery road is modified to be a little bit slower, so it's a little worse than that. I feel like this would just be a good vehicle at this point. I mean, that's kind of what I'm going for. I gotta play Luigi, because Luigi... I noticed, like, Nintendo, when they were marketing this game, they tied a character to every vehicle. They tied a character to every track. That was actually really smart. That's like one of those subtle things you don't really notice unless you stop and think about it. Like I say this very often, and I find it funny that I'm trying to, dupe myself by making the characters more unique, but in default stock Mario Kart Wii, if you're not playing Funky Kong, it really does not matter who you play. The Funky Kong or Daisy, I'm sorry. Because if you're playing a lightweight, why are you playing a lightweight? It's like, if you know how to play an inside drifting bike, that's more important than the character. It always pissed me off whenever people said that. It's like, oh, you're a Funky Kong main and a Daisy main. No, they're not Funky Kong or Daisy main. They're a Flame Runner main, they're a Mach Bike main. The character has very little to do with the actual way that the vehicle handles. Why can't I like this? It's not like sideways, which is the way you would imagine a dragster to feel. Oh, I like this. This actually feels good. It definitely hugs the corner. Like, I'm not touching anything and it holds that corner quite well. Alright, well, I think you guys know where we're going now. I think it might be too tight, so we'll see. Last stream, I think I said 2 courses. That's a lie. There's 3 courses that every course is tested on. 3 and an optional 4th. So the first one is Luigi Circuit just because it's the easiest. Like, the Nürburgring of Mario Kart Wii is MC3. This is so weird. Oh, this thing handles like a... It handles weird. I kind of like it, though. Okay, it's not too tight. It's just the entry angle is really tight. Oh, that is... It has a different arc than I'm used to. It also is fast enough, yeah? Its off-road is terrible, which makes no sense when you really stop and think about it. The tires are thin. It should have good off-road, but I don't know why I did that. Is it that popular? The Nürburgring is like where all cars are tested. Every car, production-based car, goes around the Nürburgring. At least if I remember that correct. I'm not sure if they changed it. And this thing's a little hard to control. Also, I think that it should be a little bit better off-road, so I'm going to nerf one other thing. Yeah, it should have good off-road. The tire, it bothers me. I'm sorry. It bothers me. When I see thin tires and they're not good at off-road, that's just like, no, that's wrong. Thin tires go through off-road incredibly well in real life. Specifically ice. Thin tires cut through ice really well. It looks like an off-road based car. Yeah, but the funny thing is it's a dragster. It's made to go straight. The tires play a huge part in going off-road, but the main thing about the off-roader, the off-roader is a dune buggy. You and I, we could go to and pick up a dune buggy. You stand on one side, I stand on another. You should be able to pick that thing up. It's not supposed to be heavy. Weight is the enemy, primarily. When you do sand, specifically, it changes. You don't want a thin tire for sand. Thin tire for sand is not a good idea. There's actually a difference between ice, snow, and sand. 2 very different properties. Alright, this is a joke. This is why I said maybe for it. I like going around Raceway, because Raceway feels like the Nürburgring. MC3 is the Nürburgring, but this feels more like the Nürburgring. Oh god, I forgot. This has like a texture on it. Can one of you guys send me just a texture for a Raceway? Someone just send me a Raceway texture. I don't know what I was thinking. This is by far the worst. I'm sorry if you made this texture. I'm not shaming anyone for making textures. Texture work is hard work. I need a new texture. I'm very picky with textures. I don't like this texture. This texture is ugly. It looks like an old Windows 1995. It looks good? What? In what world does this look good? Yeah, the off-road is weird, man. Yeah, it's weird. You almost have to, like, go out. N64 games look ugly. PlayStation 1 games, they look ugly. I'm not someone who, like, needs to have good graphics and whatnot. I play Mario Kart Wii. I don't need crazy good graphics, but there's just one... That graphic style, that, like, old 1990s when people were beginning to use 3D models, that era of games looks ugly beyond belief for me. I cannot play those games just because of how, in my opinion, nasty they look. I know they're good games, but graphics-wise, I just want to... They make me puke. I'm sorry. Alright, last test. Good old Bowser's Castle. This is more for, like, bikes. Bikes are good at Bowser's Castle. Carts are good at MC3. That's why I do those two. Take really sharp corners. I'm not sure if that's how they work because of something called double hop drifting, but maybe. I don't play carts enough. Oh, you would think that double hop drifting would negate that. I don't know. Maybe this thing could take really sharp corners. It didn't even cross my mind. Its handling is nice too. This thing... I call this thing the cucumber. That is not how you do that. Yeah, I think after the second hop, it stops getting tighter. So double hop, the double hop is the tightest drift, but once you go beyond that, no. The thought just popped up. Yeah, it's a good thought. Good idea. You need to test it, though. So the double hops, see how the second point drift, like, really grip the corner? After that, I think it begins to widen out again, so you only do two. I think I said in, like, the BC Wii, like, the shortcut video, I didn't know how to do it with a cart, and then literally millions spam linked me with, like, a video of, like, every vehicle doing the shortcut. I know how to do it with every vehicle. I just frankly don't want to sweat it out right now. Because I know if I try to go for it and I actually really try to get it, you guys are going to force me to make sure that I get it. And I don't want to get stuck doing that. I need to know something so that way the off-road has room to be there. Because if you make everything good, then you just end up with busted stuff. They have to have weaknesses. Every vehicle. Yeah, see how the off-road is so bad? This is normal off-road. This is not heavy. It feels like heavy off-road. Speed is honestly good. 88 is a good speed though, honestly. For carts, you want to be around 86 to 90, 92. That's the range that you want to be in as a cart. Bikes are generally slower. Bikes you shoot for 82 to 84. Around that range, like 80 to 84, and then the wheelie multiplies it up to 90 something, so you have that in between play. Carts don't have like an artificial speed up. What else? Drift handling, tightness, range. You could maybe we take an outside. Yeah, it's kind of both. Won't be too noticeable. So some corners that you would think you'd be able to make, you won't be able to make anymore. You gotta enter the corner properly, so a little bit more skill involved. You don't want it to drift off-road even with the bonus stat for the characters, so you don't want it to go anything above 0.45. Nope, anything 0.5. Something. You want to be below. Well, and this is going to be off-road, so this includes sand as well. Now, the tricky thing that I'm going to do here is the slippery road. Slippery road is specifically for sand. So courses like DS Desert Hills, slippery road type 2 is for Shoreland. So this is going to get a buff. Why is it so slow? 88.1? And then here, this is what it looks like on normal driving road. Okay, apparently my off-road... It's the same speed off-road, but it's not a bonus. I think that's in a fantastic spot. I need to keep this quite on tabs. Oh, okay.